Tassel. Thank you for the gay. Thank you so much for the gay. Forgot to put my mic in place. Hope you're doing well. I think I'm done practicing this. Let me tell the Discord what I'm doing. I'm doing very well. It's currently a struggle, but the struggle will all be worth it soon. So I would say I'm doing very well. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Nice lag. We love KZ in this house. We don't love that. Adam, thanks for the prime. You doing all right, bro? I see you playing League of Legends. Everything okay over there? I mean, we should at least play a good multiplayer game. If we're gonna be degenning, let's at least play something interesting. What? Oh, I gotta practice taking off the hat. Right. Yeah, the lighting is different. I got my actual lighting set up, which I've had for forever. I also got an actual camera set up instead of a webcam, but then I had to switch back to my webcam for today because I tried to I got a mount for the camera so that it wouldn't have to sit on top of my TV at a really awkward angle and stuff. And when I was trying to set it up, I unplugged it and replugged it to from my computer, the camera, to try to get, while I was getting the camera onto the mount, and the HDMI cord broke. So in 2 days I will have a new HDMI cord and we'll have a real camera again after the 1 day that I had it. But I think it looks a lot better, especially with the camera. But the lighting definitely makes a difference as well. I can still might mess with the lighting a little bit, but it's at least better than before, I think. Yo, BD. Well, it's definitely old. I don't know. I knew that was not gonna work. I need to figure out a way to do that differently when I pull the bomb too late like that. You probably just release the stick after turning around. Yeah. And just release the stick. I need to practice. I need to drill it into my head that I should be taking off the bunny hood during that recoil. Or as I land. And then I can put it on there instead of rolling like that. What's all masks? Brother. See, it's that exact scenario that's always going to be really awkward to time. Because I don't really want to fully release the stick after getting into position, because I have to, like, press it again after, like, one frame. Maybe that's what I should be doing. I should just be stalling. I should just be stalling while running to the spot to set up. But I should still have a backup for when I don't stall correctly. Maybe like that. Shield. I didn't... Oh, he didn't hit it. Definitely need to be practicing that fight. Somehow it all goes off the rails just because I have bunny hood on. Oh my... Oh, that actually worked? What the... Oh my god, man. think I'll be bored of speedrunning. Me personally, like to try to keep my skills and health to game / do general stuff till I disintegrate of old age. I don't know. Everything's relative. Like, speedrunning this is the best. Feels like the best thing for me to be doing right now. But if a different game existed that I wanted to play instead, things could be different. Also, if other things were different in my life, like the amount of free time that I have, things would be different. Many things could be different. So but yeah, in terms of, I do think there's a point where we will hit diminishing returns with this game. Like, yeah, at some point you get serious diminishing returns on like how interesting it is to continue optimizing. Like, I think after I get like a 111 in any percent, I don't think I'll want to push for a 110 with current knowledge. And it gets harder and harder, of course, to discover new things to advance the current knowledge. But I don't think we're particularly close to that right now, and I do think I would be interested in exploring other Zelda games, like OT, Wind Waker, before just doing something entirely different from speedrunning. But, well, the thing about other speedruns is I just don't know. Like, I just don't know how interesting they are to me because I haven't really tried. I think a lot of the things that you have to learn in other speedruns are kind of isomorphic to the things that you have to learn. like the deep skill that or the deep interesting thing that's happening in your brain when you're getting good at Ocarina of Time is not really that different from the deep interesting thing that's happening when it's the same thing as when you're getting good at Majora's Mask, right? Like, I think there's very few things that other speedruns have that Majora's Mask doesn't already have in terms of what I'm interested in. Like I'm interested in I'm interested in like how to get good at precise inputs, how to get good at like mashing the control stick in the way that I do for an A slide, and like how to like manage your psychology to do these runs, and like, you know, I'm interested in things like that. I'm not interested in like the particular tricks exactly. And I think how to become more gay, yeah, exactly. So if that makes sense, like, it should also make sense why I'm not super optimistic that I'm gonna like fall in love with another speed game the way that I fell in love with this one, because I've already gotten a lot of the general speedrun experience just from going really deep on this game, you know? Yo, mighty. And yeah. Yeah. I also just, it doesn't seem like there are that many speed games that have as much interesting stuff as this one does. But again, like I also just don't know. Like, I'm gonna have to pick another one and spend 100 hours on it, and maybe then I'll know how good it is, or how much of time I want to spend with it. Is it actually D-Rust number 69, or is that just a play on the sex number? That is a play on Malagoody 2 stream titles. If you know of a better word to describe the concept that I was trying to get at, other than isomorphic, I try not to use like you know, obscure words like that, but sometimes it actually helps. it's not a binary thing like that delta. It's a very like slow and steady. It's a process. What the? Like I still, in the past year, my understanding of the game has deepened quite a bit. This all seems so tight. You mean in-game time-wise, or just like the precision of the tricks? Hello, Chris. I didn't mean to call you out, man. I was just trying to explain my view of it. This game, yeah, the game just goes really deep. And like, you know, the things that I'm, I want to stay here, I think. That was pretty nice. The things that I'm learning about the game and the things that I'm appreciating about the game within the last like year, I feel like it's I feel like the amount of that stuff that I'm experiencing is like almost as much as there's almost as much of that stuff that I'm appreciating now as there was like the first year or two that I played, you know? Although you can't exactly directly compare because the stuff now has an advantage in that like my understanding is built on top of everything else that I already understand about the game, so there's this like complex network of things that I appreciate about the game, and like it's easier for something new to like slot into that network than it is to like build up that network in the first place. It's like more effort to build up the network in the first place, if that makes sense. So like that, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, like overall I would say I'm still my appreciation for the game and the interesting things that I'm getting out of it are still growing rapidly, pretty rapidly. What was the other thing I was gonna say about that? Oh yeah, but it's interesting that the payoffs in terms of like, because of the nature of speedrunning, it doesn't look like, if you just look at the metric, the metric of success in speedrunning, which is, or the most obvious metric, which is your PB, right? If you just look at my PB now versus my PB, you know, in 2017 even, like my PB changed way more from 2016 to 2017 than it did from 2017 to now. But the amount I've learned between 2017 and now is way more. It's just that naturally you're going to start out by learning the things that save the most time. So the things that are left, if you want to keep, you know, pushing, if you want to keep pushing after a certain point, the things that are left are all like, you're working as hard as before, but that work is for like a 2-second time save instead of a 2-minute time save or whatever. So like, it's kind of unfortunate that like the PB, it doesn't actually matter to me that much, but it would be better if people realized just how big the gap is between like a, what are these shots, man? Between like a 111 and a 112 in any percent, you know, or a 112 and 113, like the gap between a 112 and a 113 is probably like the same as the gap between like a 2 hours and like a 140 or something. Or maybe it might be much more than that actually. It might be bigger than that gap in terms of like how much stuff you have to learn and how difficult it is, the total effort required. And that's to get back to my hobby horse topic. As always, that's one of the things I love about Syncopause. Like, this is awful. Am I gonna run out of arrows? Syncopause is like one of the only competitive single player games, like game with like where you compete on a leaderboard. It's one of the only ones that doesn't really have that kind of effect. Like, your PB reflects, even at very high skill levels, your PB reflects how much you've learned pretty accurately. Like, there's not these serious diminishing returns for how many points you're getting for your score as you learn more. It's like learning, yeah. Yeah, it's not like an MM where like a 112 and a 113 are just worlds apart in terms of difficulty, but like they look very similar on the leaderboards. Like, a 4,000 and a 5,000 are like as different as a 1,000 and a 2,000 pretty much. I don't know how much of that actually came across, or if I was just rambling to myself, but that's a really valuable quality, I think. But maybe I'm just saying that because I have a 5,000 and no one else is even close, and I like looking at it. But like, wouldn't that be cool in Majora's Mask if like, if the skill gaps were more apparent? I feel like that would just be better. I do have first place in Syncopause. It's not a popular enough game that you should be that impressed by that. But at the same time, The average IQ of a Syncopause player is 2,000, so maybe you should be impressed by it. Brother. That really should have been a one cycle. I'm moving on anyway. It's a good point, Moist. And I believe Agent has played Syncopause, so we have to account for that. I think Agent kind of cancels out Michael, and then we're kind of left with the average still being very impressive. I'm allowed to bully Agent because he bullies me for no reason all the time. It's like slightly early to the ramp. I cannot believe that made it at all. I will say it is not the easiest game to get into. And if you're struggling, do not hesitate to get into the Discord and ask questions. It's much better to... What am I doing? It's much better to get some help and get over the hump than it is to drop the game forever before it really clicks. It's not really... You can figure everything out by yourself, but I think it's better to think of it more like speedrunning, where you're kind of expected to use the community to your advantage. Learn from other people, talk to other people to make the learning process more enjoyable. I don't know what to do here. Guess that's fine. But yeah, you definitely should try it. Don't let me scare you off. It's if you like high skill ceilings and you like if you have any interest in tactics, strategy type of games, just deep games in general, it's an absolute must play. Okay, I mean, the Syncopause channel in my Discord and... Syncopause channel in my Discord is not particularly active right now. It goes through phases where it's active. Well, the secret Syncopause channels especially go through phases where they're active. But if you join the Bro Games Discord, like the official Syncopause Discord, It's a little more active, but still sometimes feels pretty dead. I don't know. There are guides online and stuff that you can find if you're feeling frustrated. You can also just ask me. You can also just join the chat and ask me, and I will gladly start ranting at you. Dude, no. Oh, I just pressed the wrong button. What's wrong with fighting games, Moist? Well, you don't have to do this lullaby skip. This lullaby skip probably saves over a minute, best case scenario, but average case it saves well under. Saves a lot less than a minute. On average, because the RNG is so stupid. It's like, I've like never gotten anywhere close to a truly best case optimal lullaby skip in a run. It's like incredibly rare. So yeah, you can just do the Fairy Fountain alternate exit instead, and it's a billion times easier. Yeah, it's only on itch and iOS. The iOS version is preferable if you have a device that you're comfortable playing it on. However, it's fine if you don't. It's just the difference is just that the itch version doesn't have a global leaderboard. It just shows like all of your past runs when you go to the leaderboard screen. And the global leaderboard is helpful to look at. You can get some info by looking at other people's shit on there. But it's not the end of the world, and you can see that info on screenshots that I've posted in the Discord, for example, if you really want to. Yeah. True. Fighting in real life is more fun. It's also more dangerous. Like, yeah. It just doesn't seem advisable to really get into that. And I don't know. I'm all for real life games. But there are a lot of things that you can do in a video game fighting game that you can't do in a real life fighting game. Design wise. Right. Some of those things are probably good. How's it going, Thomas? Hopefully this... I don't know how this timing is going to work with the wind. I failed the quick draw thing. Nice. In this scenario, I do this and this. Wait, I haven't been doing the equips right. Because I want to equip Bunny and Ocarina. Oh. Wait, is this the right... Yeah, this is the right equip here. Thomas, is that AFR route figured out? What's the deal with that? I haven't followed it at all. Dude! Insane. Insane timings. Actually, my insane pace. Skips Woods of Mystery route and do Lens Cave AE. Saves 45 to 50 seconds, that's crazy. This is probably trash, right? It's fine. So is that what I want to do? Yeah. Oh yeah. Keep Ocarina equipped. The vacation was not much of a vacation, to be honest with you. I had to recover from it. But it was good. It needed to happen, and I'm ready to get back into this and actually finish this grind. This 211 has been a very long time coming. But I finally have time to like, I got nothing. Nothing is going to interrupt this for the next few months, as far as I'm aware. I probably should have just gone for that. You gotta come this way, okay. What if I go from here like an idiot? Oh, it's actually completely fine. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. Honestly not sure why that didn't work. Actually, I think I do, and I guess... I think going for that was the right call, it was just a little unlucky. I'm sick of this dude. I gotta do something else. What? I guess I should practice that more. Yo, Arvilla. You're doing well. How are you? That is too far? What? There's no way. That was not a side up. That's too far? Sorry. Okay. Clearly I don't understand the visual cues. Okay, I had a feeling that would take me in. Maybe this is just too precise. Let's just try it from like here. See if I can consistently stop quickly at the right spot. Like, is that even worth skip? Is that even worth it when I can just two pause? Yeah, you just have to time it. Well, so it's you press A during the unpause lag to cancel the C up, and then you press A again. The first frame after the unpause lag to side hop in, I think is what's happening. I've found the timing not that difficult. Except that was just early. But for the most part I found the timing not that difficult, but like the positioning is pretty precise. It scares me. I could just do that, you know, I could just get my instant position like right here. Wait. What am I thinking? How would the more lenient thing work? I would have to press A and then immediately pause in a really awkward way, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I guess I should go for the one pause. It's just so scary to walk that close to the load zone. Late. So that's probably too far, right? Not too far. Brother, like that's just so bad. That's run killing. I am consistently going late now. Wait, I'm just not getting the side hop. Oh, I was consistently going early. Yo Clemmy, yo Simon. There's no way this is close enough, right? Never gonna know. That is close enough? Wait, why wasn't it working before? Maybe something weird was going on with the camera or something, making me side hop the wrong way. No, I don't think I'm ready to do a run today, and I'm not... Still not feeling great either. I lost the timing completely, dude. What the fuck? Surely that's too far. Yeah. Dude. Okay, so it's not as precise as I thought. I don't know how I got confused there. Yo, rat box. Still really terrible if I do that. But it seems like there should generally be a 2-frame window for when to stop this walk if I'm just walking up like that. An attachment? What are we talking about? That must be late. Okay, sometimes I just don't know if I'm early or late. How's recovery? I think it's going really well. I'm not even listening to the audio cues to do the first part right. Yeah, I have like a symptom checklist that's supposed to kind of indicate to me, based on how I'm feeling from week to week, whether I'm on track, whether it's normal, whether things are working. And it has, my symptoms have tracked with that very accurately. It's pretty crazy, actually. Because it's not like all normal symptoms that you would possibly expect to happen every day. Some of them are really weird. I'm not gonna go into the details of that, but yeah, it's tracked very accurately, so I assume it's working, and in many ways, despite the symptoms, I am feeling better already, quite a bit. I think it's gonna be... I'm expecting that by the end of this I will feel better than I have felt in my entire memory of my life. Oh, that's interesting that that doesn't work. Unfortunately, Moist, I am getting weaker by doing this. It puts a lot of strain on my system in a lot of ways, and I've barely been able to keep playing Majora's Mask, let alone also work out as much as I did before. I managed to run like a mile today, which was sadly more than I have in like over a week. But the hope is that I will be able to work out much more consistently and effortlessly be a lot healthier after all this. How did I just lose this timing? Okay, that was too far. It must have been just barely too far. I wonder if some of these are like... Some of these that fail, and I'm not sure why, could be like bad turns. Like I'm not turning straight. It doesn't feel like it's changing my personality much or anything like that. I mean, in the long run, you know, being in a better mood every day over the long run does change your personality, but it's not like an instant change, I guess. Drive 6 hours for work? What? That's not like your regular commute, is it? I don't know if I've ever heard of a commute that long. Or is it like you drive Uber Eats or something? I don't think that really makes sense with the rest of your message. Okay, let's just grind this timing here. It feels weird doing that as part of... Doing that separately from the rest of the trick feels weird. I think I'm pretty self-aware about these types of things. I wouldn't be too concerned. I mean, yeah. I feel like I have pretty strong conceptions of who I'm trying to be at this point in my life. And, you know, feeling like shit all the time kind of just holds me back from doing much. And feeling better all the time is just gonna feel better. Let's practice this, I guess. I don't think I've ever slept in public transport. Maybe I've like drifted off briefly. Manage real estate for a company. I see. Well, I mean, you are getting so you are getting paid for those hours. I would count that as work, right? Dude, I would not complain about a 3-minute commute. You can find time in the rest of your day to watch a stream. Is that? Nice. That was just barely possible. Where have I been? I was in Colorado. With family and stuff. And then I was here dying. Mostly done dying, I hope, at this point. Come on, Moist. You don't like enjoying yourself if there's things you need to do. It's a valuable skill to learn to like figure out how to enjoy yourself despite the fact that there are things looming that you will have to figure out and deal with soon. Sometimes it's just the right moment to chill, even though there's other stuff going on. There's always gonna be stuff going on, that's how life is. But I do try to clear things out before I chill as well. To be perfectly honest with you, I do understand that it is just better if you can do that. Why is this so hard right now, by the way? Oh, I stopped. I switched to holding right. I should be holding right when I walk into the torch, not like uprightish. Still not quite doing it the way I did before. Um, I don't know. It really depends. This is not the type of thing that I can like give general advice about exactly. It really just depends on the situation, but you know. Sometimes the best thing to do is to write the things down that you need to do later and then take a break and let let your brain rest. And it is possible to get into a brain mode where that works. Howdy Pete, congrats on all your crossword W's. Make sure you check out that puzzle game that I linked in Franker Z. Just for you. Might just be game of the year over Sneckbird, I don't know. It's gonna be tight. Can you mobile it? I would... Well... Maybe you can. I'm not sure what... You can try. It might work. I shouldn't underestimate the things that you like to do on mobile. Even for things, you know, even things that I would hate to do on mobile. Yo, Don, how's it going? Thank you, as always, for the good music posts. Why am I doing that? I don't know. Nice. Damage boost into the heart. An angel game intro. I don't think we're getting to 211 today. Sorry to bring the bad news. No. Colorado was to visit family. Misa's family, to be more accurate. But yeah, it was okay. It was... Dude. It was what it was. Let's just say that. That makes it sound like it went poorly, but really it's just unfortunate things. Unfortunate circumstances. Can you play iOS single pause offline and still be on a leaderboard when you connect to online? I don't know exactly how it works. I would expect, I would be very surprised if it didn't work that way, but I don't know for sure. But you can certainly play it offline. It's just, I don't know, if you play an entire run offline, will it then submit your score when you reconnect? I'm not 100% sure about that. But it's still better to play on iOS, even if you can't submit at all, in my opinion. Ooh, thought I might get hit there. Thanks, Peepaw. I'm not big on weed. This is a very easy boss. Or fight, whatever you want to call it. How is Misa still asleep right now, bro? At least I assume she's still asleep because she's not in the chat and hasn't messaged me. Well, eating sugar was my thing for a very long time, but I had to man up and stop that. Now I have no vices left. I mean, people would say that video games are a vice, obviously. Obviously, people would say that. It's not obvious to me that they are if you play them the way that I do. I don't actually live off of passive income at all. That's not true at all. But also, like, things that you do, you know, even if you don't have to work for money, that leaves a lot of things that you could do that are not vices, I think. You know, you could volunteer if you're out feeding the homeless. Is that a vice? Do I drink enough water? No. Thank you. Anything that's not work is a vice. Well, this feels like work, and I do technically get paid for this, so... There we go. Not a vice. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair definition, Delta. Now you're just making up arbitrary constraints, consultant. Now you're just being difficult. Just because this is a third world job. Just because this is third world work doesn't mean it's not work. Life is arbitrary constraints. I think life has some of the least arbitrary constraints of anything that you could think of. All constraints are arbitrary. But things can be more or less arbitrary. This is a really stupid argument that I don't enjoy, though. I'm gonna drop out of it right now. All right, this. This all feels pretty good. Maybe tomorrow. If I'm feeling decent again, we'll What? We'll be able to do a run. Oh my god. Whatever. Wait, I used that website recently, it was shit. No, just kidding. I used it recently and it was okay. Yeah, safe flight. I ended up not getting a new windshield, though. But I kinda am going to need to. I got a crack that's spreading. Don't take that the wrong way, please. Do not take that the wrong way. Name one good website. moistgoulash.neocities. Whatever. Get owned. What have I been reading lately? I've been posting about it on the Discord a little bit. I finished The Road by McCarthy. Thought it was pretty mid. I'm now reading The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, which I'm enjoying pretty well. Anything else? I read another Wodehouse. Read a random Wodehouse novel that was not that great. Well, I expect to like Blood Meridian a lot more, but for some reason I felt like picking up The Road, and yeah, pretty disappointed by that one, but I expect that Blood Meridian will be better. Yeah, I have been reading the chat, unfortunately. Do I know how to do this? Did I want to know anything about logic bombs? I'd like to know your opinion about it without spoiler. I mean, I know the concept of the game. Yeah, so yeah, you can say what you think of it. I wouldn't like go deep into mechanics or anything, but or if there's any major surprises, I wouldn't go into that, but I just don't like simple things. I don't I don't think I need to get acclimated. I think I want a complicated thing out the gate. So maybe the road was just straight up the wrong choice. It just felt like the vibe in the moment, I don't know. What is this? I feel like the camera's doing something different than usual. What else did I read? I don't know, I guess I haven't been reading that much aside from... There was a period where I wasn't reading that much before those, I think. Why is this so hard, dude? Maybe this is easier if I spin sooner. Some of these times for sure I'm spinning a bit late, I think. Like that, maybe? I don't know. Time to practice the most important trick in the run. Bro. Got yourself a small book. What is it? Haven't heard of it, but I agree with the title. Yeah. Why is that third one getting delayed? I don't understand. Specifically nervous? Making you specifically nervous. I don't know why it would make you nervous. Is it because, like, you're afraid you made a mistake a long time ago and you're just going with it, like in Sudoku? And you're gonna have to restart the whole thing? Or... The puzzles don't actually look big enough that I would expect that to be a big problem. Like, they don't look as big as, like, Picross or Sudokus. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly though. Maybe they are as big. But yeah, I'm not typically that into those kinds of games. You know, pure logic, pure deduction games. I like it when the deduction is part of... Well, I guess that's not true. I guess like Jelly No Puzzle is a pure deduction game, but the problem is not having states, right? Like when you're on a grid, you're on just it's just a grid and you're toggling tiles. You're just marking the tiles, and it plays out. The solution plays out all at once. It's not like a Sokoban game where you push things around and now the whole level is in a different state, and there's a whole branching possibility space of all the situations you can get into. Like that gets very interesting. A lot more can happen there. Like you can have something like Jelly No Puzzle where like blocks merge with each other in certain scenarios and things like that. That can be a lot more interesting and complex. Even if you know all the rules, there's just a lot more room for surprising consequences of those rules. But like on a pure something, something like Sudoku, there's where there's no states like that. It's very hard, I think, to design something that is interesting enough to sustain a full like 20-ish hour playthrough, let's say. So I'm interested to see if he managed to make a rule set that's interesting enough to hold my attention like that. But I've heard him complain about, or I've heard him say that he has mixed feelings about the kind of teaching through level design, learning new rules through level design type of thing that like Steven Sausage Roll or Monsters Expedition or Can of Wormholes, those kind of games do. And I like that a lot. So I'm not expecting to agree with his sensibilities on this for this type of game. So I'm just curious to see what I think of it. And in fact, my favorite game, maybe my favorite game of the year is Player Zero or Zero Player, which kind of goes in the exact opposite direction, right? It's like figuring out the rules is the whole game. I'd like to understand what you mean about the nervousness. I still don't understand why you would be nervous. Okay. Am I too far to the left? I feel too far to the left. There's just no way this works. Just kidding. Nope. Dead. Dead run. You start the game with 3 hearts. That's why. Alright, whatever. I don't care about aliens, dude. If you knew more about the dev, you would probably be fine. Interesting. Is this really out of battery? My Wiimote? Bro! Insane. Sour, please. All of the Majora's Masks are actually different. That's good, Jacob. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. Alright, I'm gonna practice a few more things and then be done, I think. No runs today, but probably runs tomorrow. Assuming I'm still feeling okay. Do I speak Japanese? No. Typically I do not speak Japanese. And if I did, it would be very poorly. I think the process is working, Peepaw. I'm currently just trusting the process. Really, like a couple weeks from now is when it's supposed to really start. I think in a couple weeks I should really start knowing for sure, and maybe like 3 or 4 weeks from now, like is when I could potentially be feeling like better than I have in my entire life. Hopefully. If you have some background? I don't understand why background would be necessary. Background isn't understanding, knowing the developer? Oh. Oh, are there like references in the like how Picross, like you're drawing something? Are there like references to his videos in the way that the puzzle ends or something? Yo, Alec. Much more abstract, okay. I don't know. Some background in the game with the base mechanics. So you're saying that some small number of puzzles are absolute bangers. Like, that just means that they are bangers, right? Because isn't everyone gonna have background with the basic mechanics by playing the game? I don't understand. Surprised that worked. This is shockingly consistent. Okay, something seems to have gone wrong for you, specifically. I'm curious. Very curious what that is. So yeah, maybe I'll play it next after. I've played so many puzzle games recently, I feel like I need to play something that's not a puzzle game. But there are no good games that are not puzzle games. Sometimes that's what it feels like. Bro. Maybe after I finish Braid Anniversary Edition, I'll play Logic Bombs next. I still have to finish Schneckbird, but I've been replaying those levels during runs, during the MM intro. since I lost my save file. In this scenario, I do not do the English version backup. I go back in the hole. Very important to remember. Well, I was playing in browser, and usually these things just work, but I should have just been playing the downloaded version all along. You know, I was like expecting when I started the game that it wouldn't be nearly as long and also wouldn't get nearly as hard. And when it got really hard, that was also when I started doing the stupid diet thing and feeling like shit, and I was just like, I don't want to think about a really hard puzzle right now. So I kind of just stopped playing the game for a bit, and then during that was when I restarted my computer and wasn't really thinking about it, and the save got lost somehow. Yo, Mel. I see. This game does something particularly well, related to something I've talked about before, but is also very subtle. Interesting. Well, if it does anything in particular very well, I'm interested. Like, you know, exceptionally well, notably well, then I'm excited to play it. Yeah, I'll probably hit it next after Braid. I'm pretty familiar, I'd say. Not familiar enough to avoid equipping the light arrows, though. CRT monitor, but it's dark. The contrast is kind of meh. Yeah, I made sure it was bright enough. Like, I demanded that the guy let me come to his garage where he was keeping it and plug it in and like plug in my Wii and like boot up Guyorg so that I could make sure I could see the comfortably see the visual cue for the Guyorg weird shot before I bought it. Before I bought my CRT monitor. Oh, also Mal, I assume you're still here. How well do you understand that remote hookshot new thing? Because I feel a little fuzzy on like my intuition for why exactly that's happening. Like, let me see if I can think through it. Or like explain the difference between that and the normal case. Like, okay, in the normal case, you shoot one let's just skip to when the hook shots hit. Okay, the first hook shot hits, and then the second hook shot hits. And when the second one hits, it switches to pulling you toward the second target. But and normally you don't reach the first destination. Yeah, but why doesn't the first destination then get stored? Right? Why doesn't the first position get stored in that case? I don't really understand that. And why doesn't, when you hookshot something else later, you know, when you walk all the way across Stone Tower and then try to hookshot a box, why doesn't that then get stored? You know, it pulls you way back across the map, but then why doesn't it also store the box position? I don't know if we understand things like that or not. If we don't understand them, that's fine. How do you know it will not be shit? You can know for sure that it will be shit. Unless you have tens of thousands of hours of writing practice under your belt. So, if you want to know that it will not be shit, you should spend tens of thousands of hours writing things. Similar things, ideally. Well, that's how it works. Yeah, I've been streaming a long time because you've been napping a long time. The secret? You wanna know the secret for Kojima? Is that his games are actually shit. The writing, look. I'm not gonna say that they're like shit in every possible way. If you like some things, like I would I'm a pretty big Kojima hater, but I like some things about his games. I understand that they are exceptional in some ways. But you cannot tell me that the writing is good. The writing is like Star Wars prequels. It's literally like sit here and explain to you the stupid made up science of the world. And then like the corny character names and then I don't know, dog. Like it's just nonsense. The vibe, you know, he knows how to make a good vibe. Hello Misa. We're back on old camera. Because of the broken... You look very sleepy. I told them that we broke the USB thing. I don't think it was you. I think it was just...
I think it's just, yeah, not built well. It's been 5 years since I bought it, so...
Yeah, I think the games are engaging for reasons... I mean, that kind of writing is engaging. Like, you know, it's engaging for the same reason that I like am interested to read about the new Kingdom Hearts games and how that story is developing. It's just so far off the rails at this point. It's just gotten so stupid that it's interesting, and I want to see what they do next because it has become so stupid.
I think my mom used to watch soap operas because.
Yeah, soap operas. That's a great example in the same category. But also, you know, you get the absurdity and stuff too with the Kojima game. Especially the newer ones. Like Death Stranding it is genuinely interesting just seeing what kind of wacko shit he came up with. but like execution wise, is it well written? I would say no. I would say definitely not. But I admire him for doing things that are different, for using his clout to do something that is not just what everyone else is doing. Even if I am not really into it.
I think the old camera looks nice with the lighting.
Yeah, the lighting helps a lot for sure. Yeah, I've played look, my opinion on writing, my opinions on all these things are pretty different from most people. I'm just saying how it hit for me. I can't say for sure. You know, maybe you are different enough from me that they are the best games ever and the best writing ever for you. But for me, I've played like all the Metal Gear games up till like Metal Gear Solid 4 or something. I've played Death Stranding 1. And it ain't it. Can't one of the most important TS of lore? TS of lore. Oh, bits of lore. There's a phone game for Metal Gear or what? I actually did try to play Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. It seemed very much not my thing though. You know, at least the previous Metal Gear games were like you know, they were dense and they were over fairly quickly, you know, they were a tight 5 to 20 hours depending. And you get through them quickly, and it's you know, it feels like a roller coaster ride. There's like different things happening, there's variety, there's weird moments where some random weird set piece happens and you are surprised. Metal Gear Solid 5 seemed a lot more like open world slop. That's such a lazy way to say my complaint, but it just felt like it was going to be running around to another camp and using your tools to get in there and do it. And I'm just not into that. I'm not into Breath of the Wild. I'm not into immersive sims really at all. Not into Far Cry or whatever. I haven't given Far Cry enough of a chance. Maybe some of those games are good. I don't know. Same Delta. Totally. Yeah, it felt like it was gonna be like 80 hours of open world game.
Okay, have fun. I just saw your message, so.
Oh, okay.
I was actually going here to ask what you wanted for dinner, and I just saw your message.
Okay. I'm almost done. I'm gonna be
Okay.
done in like 5 minutes or less.
Bye, chat.
Bye, Misa. I described Far Cry pretty much, yeah. But, you know, maybe it's more interesting. Maybe I would like it more than all these other examples for some reason that I don't know because I haven't actually tried it. I played Ratchet and Clank 2 Going Commando at my friend's house when I was like 10. Was it Kino? I honestly was not that into it even back then. Do we have any other pressing topics of gaming conversation before I end the stream? Is anyone else streaming who I should raid also? I would be into it now more. I highly doubt that. Basically bullet hell in 3D. I also highly doubt that. Why is Twitch not responding? Is Twitch broken? Oh, here we go. Wow, it's loading very slowly. What's going on in the Majora's Mask directory? Man, there is no one speedrunning Majora's Mask right now. Except Pope Watch Party. Should we raid a randomizer player? First Majora's Mask rando, let's if I can beat it. Alright, let's raid this person. Go tell him good luck. Can you whisper me something cool? I suppose. Thanks for watching this practice. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow will be the day for D-Rust runs instead of D-Rust practice. See you guys. Bye-bye.